Now we've got it all put together, and it's time to go ahead and open the thing up so I can show you guys the blades and the motor mechanism inside. So you just keep turning this little knob on top, and it takes quite a few turns actually. So just keep doing, obviously don't have it plugged in when you do it, and it's hinged up and it opens right up here. So here is the inside of the machine and the housing for the motor. So you've got two large heavy-duty blades. They're actually quite thick. I was surprised. Didn't know if they're going to be small, thin, like say razor blade style blades. But they are double-sided. So one side gets dull, you unscrew it, and then you would flip the blade over so you have a fresh cutting edge. So you basically get double the life on the same set of blades. So let's go ahead and get this thing fired up. So first we had to put the bag underneath. And one thing to take in consideration is because it is a bag, on windy days that bag tends to want to blow off, unlike a bin underneath. So you just take the handles, hook them on those two hooks on the sides, and then put your plunger, shover, whatever you want to call it, up by the machine to get ready to go. So went ahead and plugged the machine up, and I grabbed some sticks and went ahead and flipped the machine on, and as you'll notice, the machine is not super loud, but my bag did try to blow away because I've got a little bit of a breeze outside and there's nothing in it to hold it down. Once you get some chips inside, it's not so bad. So it's got a hard rubber kind of flap at the top just to keep people from sticking their fingers in there. And this is me trying to shove everything down. Now because these were fairly light and then my bag blew a little bit, not all of it ended up in the bag and some of it kind of blew back at me. So here's a handful of the first set of mulch that it made. And actually it's pretty decent looking mulch. Now these aren't heavy sticks or anything, these are just some from my peonies that are at the end of the season. But next let's go ahead and grab some branches and take a look and see what they do. So let's take a look and see what we got. So I was actually quite surprised on how nice this mulch looked. Um, did struggle though actually getting the branches down inside the machine just because of how small the hole is. So here's the type of leaves that I get to deal with every year. And they cover my little yard in my cul-de-sac, even though I don't have a single tree in my yard. But we're going to go ahead and try some of that bald cypress mulch that gets all over my yard from my neighbor's tree, thank you. And let's see if we can get it down this tiny little chute. And it does not go in very well at all. I really don't recommend this for leaves or brush or anything like that. It's just too tiny to put it in there. So really quickly, let's take a look at these maple chips that I made with the dried out maple. Did a good job chipping them, just had trouble feeding them in. All right, guys, let's talk about this Yeryork shredder and chipper. First off, let's talk about the things that it does well. It does chip very nice mulch. You saw in those little planters that I dumped that leftover mulch, and that was, I believe, maple that I had chipped up. It was dry, it was not wet, so it made very, very nice sized chips for this. The unit is very, very quiet. It's not very heavy. It can easily be put in the back of a car or a small vehicle, so you don't have to have a truck to move it around. It does have a heavy-duty plug on the back, and it's protected on the sides, which is nice as well. And I believe this is a clip, so you can run your extension cord to this and keeps your extension cord from plugging out. If you'll notice when I start this up on the audio, if you can hear that, it is a soft start motor, so the motor does start up softly. It has got two blades inside that are double-sided, meaning you have two blades that are actively cutting. When those blades get dull, you'd loosen two bolts on the top, flip the blades around, and you do have two fresh blades. The cart is nice. You have a little storage handle on the side for your hopper pusher here. And yeah, the overall fit and finish of the machine is nice. Now let's talk about the parts that I don't like, and there were unfortunately quite a few. This is marketed as a shredder. Your hopper size, and let me double check, on the top is a grand total of 6 inches, and the max width is right around 2 inches. So you have a 2-inch wide by 6-inch wide slot to fit everything that you want in here. With, first off, the leaves. You saw how many leaves I have in my yard. There is no way that I could effectively or easily shred leaves in this thing. There is no funnel to put the leaves in. I have noticed that there is another one online that looks very much the similar as this one. It's just rebranded, but it does have a funnel on the top. That way you could pile on stuff that you want to shred and easily mash it down, kind of like you would with a blender. You get your little masher and you shove it all down in there. This little shover is very narrow as well. It would have been nice if they put a little flare on, say, either side that fits down in the slots. That would make pushing stuff in a lot easier. This was okay, not very effective. Next, on the limbs and the sticks that I put in there, unless you have everything cut down into perfect little long pieces, they do not fit in the chute. The problem is you have a branch that Y's out. It doesn't fit in there because it's staying out and it's holding itself from the chute. So it makes feeding stuff into mulch very difficult, or for the shredder very difficult, because of the such small opening on the top. That being said, this is not a product, unfortunately, that I recommend. Would I go out and buy this? Absolutely not. Now, is there a few niche people out there that want to just make their own mulch? This unit isn't very expensive. So if you want to make your own organic mulch for, say, your planter beds or stuff like that, somebody might like this. But if you have a lot of limbs or stuff that fall off, say in a windstorm, you are going to have to prepare every single branch in order to fit in this machine. If you're going to go to all that trouble to cut everything into little pieces, you might as well just cut it into little pieces and throw it in your trash can, unless you specifically want it for the mulch. Even though it does have good qualities and it does make some great looking mulch, the difficulty of using it with the size of opening that it has makes it unusable for me. If you'll notice some commercial machines out there, predominantly the big gas ones, they have a huge wide funnel. So you're putting wide branches in, the machine kind of grabs it and pulls it into the mulcher, making it much more usable for stuff like leaves or small branches or even bushes or whatever that you pull up out of the ground. You just chuck them in there and it just shreds the bejesus out of them. There's no way you're going to shove anything more than a few small branches in here. If you guys want to know more about this product, I will leave a link in the description below to the Amazon webpage that this is being sold at. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, or if you own one, let me know what you think. With a few modifications, at least a bigger opening. I mean, if they made a big round opening, yes, I could see the danger of that. You stick your hand in it, but the big ones have the giant openings with warning signs all over them. If they could open it up just a little bit, I could see this machine being much, much, much more usable than it is in its current configuration. Until next time, guys, thanks again.